Beautiful bow on the Dreadlocks of Wisdom. Okay, rabbis, you need something to relate? Think of me as getting 58, or one of those magical stories written back in the day. There was a little castle within, a child crying of blasphemy and sin. I went up to the guards using metaphors as bait. I get a little closer to see a few guards filled with hate. Their armor was feathered red, Romans with their spears. Inside they held a little boy and guarded all his fears. They laughed and pointed whenever he showed his little tears, planting seeds of destruction in his precious little ears. I said, I am here, open the gates. No longer will you feed on his figs and dates. They had no choice but to open. I could see how he was chained there, sad and broken. So then fire came from my eyes. I gave him a new fruit and cleared all the lies. He stood valiant and tall, and tore apart the chain in those walls. Unlike Samson, he didn't get stopped by the bricks. He grabbed the Romans and gave them every lick, and then took that crown of thorns and melted it into the grains of their corn, waxed that castle until it was completely rubble. Ishmael came to burst another bubble. At first I saw two, but then began to see double. 4 children with skulls wide open. Isis Ra'el, the real Isis left unspoken. Ashkenazi is an interesting term. Did you know that the Greeks already had their turn? Now they sneakily seek another term. By entangling the Anglo-Saxons with a divisive perm, the god of the Greek Bible was Theos, not from the Cosby shows. Martin Luther the theologian, but first was Paul. Remember when he took Barnabas and Titus into Jerusalem like the mall? Actually, that started in Greece after all, before they tore Zeus and Hades off the wall. They went to Egypt to see all that was engraved. Then the philosophers came back and manipulated how others behave. Shopping carts for Babylon to bring back to the ships. Little pretty dresses for when she shakes her hips. She's ready to fornicate, just start with the kiss. Siren of the flesh whispering the heavenliest of bliss. This isn't random, she attacked Judah first. So that's why oftentimes she and her mother Egypt get it the worst. Back to the current Nazis at hand. Go compare the Greek and Israeli flags and realize the plan. Research how Ashkenazi are from Polish and German lands. Sephardic are the flutes of the Turkish Roman bands. And why he with the stars in his hand say the synagogue isn't from our lands. Both tribes say that they hate Romans and Nazis, but Photoshop their teachings like the paparazzi. So when I remove their power from the system, you can follow them if you truly miss them. That brew they're steadily mixing sure is leading a lot to the crucifixion. Then those rabbis that shoot the gun are silent when asked who really funds. They holler anti-Semitism and run. Those federals from the Federation sure are doing a number on that Palestinian nation. They don't like it when you keep it real. I think it's time for another seal. Honestly, I am thinking the name. That seems to be the only thing that make it rain. I am who I am. I am sent me. Don't let these pastors and shepherds ride in their Bentley while watching the poor starve alive, begging for change just to survive, boosting the CEO's money, laundering funds into a church while separating the honey, playing Monopoly with tax codes, then complain about immigrants stealing the road, constructing the mind with guardrails, using that book full of Protestant bales, universal power in the studios, a hollow wood watered by something biblical, until my mountain of power took the Pharaoh's 2 serpents and devoured. 3 beasts resurrected from the pit. Judaism, Catholicism, and Protestantism are shit. Don't think me Islamic either. I liken them to the creeper, the angel of death like the reaper, seeking to devour the sleeper, singing those pretty verses, little hymns from Persian purses, ready to chop off the heads of those who refuse Muhammad's bread. Thank goodness for the seas, so I don't have to eat the fruits of those cactus-like trees. I follow the stone. They say it's old law. It will lead you to and fro. I am confident they already don't know where to go. I'd rather not follow them or listen. Half of them still looking or are always missing. Things that cannot hear, see, but walk and talk. I almost brought down a giant from the beanstalk. AI are dangerous. AI is dangerous. Look at the Chicken Little run. They still think archangels come out from the sun. Well, let me elaborate, they kinda do. I could be speaking from who I am, a Scooby snack or two. That's a little parable about the rain that goes outside, or those pastors that refuse to run to the river and remain hog-tied, or atomic molecules that lead to residues. I tried to tell them we are carbons, but they all refused. I told them do what they will, but I will not lose. Many bow, end up the cow, but I'll re-fucking fuse. I don't need Moshe coming from the mount. The numbers of people in Leviticus, I see a large amount. The exodus of murderers like fighting off the count. Not the one from Sesame Street, the one from the underworlds. Vlad the spiritual impaler cutting jerry curls, a barber of destruction jerry-rigging all his blades, a master of deception trumping the king with the ace of spades, all fun and games until the Black King becomes enraged, ripping the deck apart, throwing them into the fire cage. Tarot cards of mystery, little boxes on the road, until an upside-down question mark flips you like the toad. A stool of misery added to the cart, should have used the star from the very start. In case you're confused, that was a super kind of rhyme. I used to speed on that track all the time, speed racing with anticipation to turn another page, until that time you start to hit a certain age. Then you read as slowly as your mind will allow, because there's one word to whom no one wants to bow, a lingering knowledge that oftentimes makes one raise a brow, initiating a calculation of zero over a number, until a person is jumping because of a car alarm or some thunder. Cranky, no one wants to go under, except for the adventurers who seek to grab the plunder. Riding an eagle with 3 little mice, I was told to treat my brothers nice. They came before, so they taught me the ways. So now we can hunt for some cheese and play. Beware of those lions offering bread. They'll never get Judah and Israel out of their head. He who kills with the sword is slain, and he who cages in Babylon will remain.